guys, I'm Rick. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making beef bourguignon. Alright, I'm starting out here in my 8-quart pressure cooker, and I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of oil. Normally I wouldn't measure, but I also have to add in flour then, so it has to be real close, if not dead on. Okay, I'm going to let this heat up, and you could use a Dutch oven, but it would take longer. You'd have to simmer this for like 2 hours, so I'm pressed for time, so I'm using my pressure cooker. Now that my oil's heating up, I'm going to add in roughly, it's a 3-pound rump roast that I cut into 2-inch cubes. And I'm going to fry them until they're brown on all sides. And while my beef is brown, I'm going to season this well with salt and pepper. And I'm going to give this a stir and hit the other side. And you want to season this pretty well, so I'm probably putting about 2 teaspoons of each on there, salt and pepper. Okay, my beef cubes are brown, I've taken them out. Now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of margarine. You can also use butter. I turned my heat off for a minute here so this doesn't get too hot. And I have 2 medium onions here that I diced up, so I'm going to add them in, and I'm going to soften them in that butter. Now, while this here the beef was browning, the juice that I cooked out of it, I drained off. That's roughly about a cup. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to add that back in the mixture in a little bit. So I'm going to cook my onions here until they soften. And it took about 15 minutes for my beef cubes to brown. And it's also pulling up all that goodness off the bottom of that pot. Let me turn my heat back on. Alright, my onions have softened. They cooked for probably 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of flour to that. And I'm going to continue cooking this for a few more minutes so that flour cooks down a little bit. Get some flour taste out of it. My flour and onions have cooked for a minute or two. Now this calls for 4 cups of wine. These bottles are 2 cups each. This is cooking wine. You can also use regular red wine. That's what it calls for. So I'm going to add in 2 bottles or 4 cups of red cooking wine. This wine smells yummy. Let me stir this together while I add it in. Now I'm going to turn my heat up, and I'm going to cook this until this wine reduces by about half. Alright, I let this simmer over medium heat for about 8 minutes, and my wine's reduced. Excuse me. Now I'm going to add in 4 cups of beef stock, and a little tip is I put a little hole in the top there, that way when you pour it, it doesn't slop all over, it comes out nice and smooth. And this is a 4-cup box that I'm adding in. Now I'm going to turn my heat up on high. I'm also going to add in that beef juice that I pulled out earlier. I'm going to return that back into the pot. I'm going to add in 8 sprigs of fresh thyme. You can't get the fresh, the dry will do. I'm going to add in 2 bay leaves. I'm going to add in my beef again. Alright, I'm going to put my lid on, bring this up to pressure, and I'm going to allow this to pressure cook for 20 minutes until that beef is tender. Alright, my 20 minutes are up and I took this off the heat. Now I'm going to manually release the steam on this. Alright, now that all my pressure is released, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I'm going to add in, I have 4 stalks of celery and 4 carrots that I sliced up roughly in 1-inch pieces. I'm going to add them in. I'm going to put my lid back on and pressure cook these for 10 minutes. And then when that's ready to open up, I'll be back. Alright, my 10 minutes are up. This time I cooled this off under cold water because it spit at me the last time. I'm going to turn my heat on, and I'm going to cook this without the pressure cooker. Just use this regular pot. Let me give this a stir. Alright. And pull these sprigs of thyme out if I can get them. Alright, now that I have all my thyme sprigs out, I have a 16-ounce bag of white egg noodles here. I'm not going to use all of them because that would absorb all of this juice. I'm going to add about half in, maybe about 8 ounces. You could boil your pasta separate and serve this over top of it, but I want to save time and I don't feel like dirtying a bunch of dishes. So I'm going to give this a stir. Here's one of my bay leaves. I'll grab that quick. I'm going to allow this to slow cook with the lid off for about a half hour until that pasta's cooked and that thickens up. Alright, this simmered for 15 minutes and it's done. The pasta's tender and it's thickened up. Let's go ahead and fix a plate of this and see what we got. You could also serve this over rice or incinerated pepe or orzo, a small pasta like that. I chose to serve it with egg noodles. Alright, there you have it. Beef bourguignon. Give this a try. I think you'll like it. And until next time, I'll see ya.